actually feels like I'm talking to you directly today. YouTube, no TikTok today. Not the algorithm, not a crowd, not a comment section. You. If you're watching this live, I see you. Woof. And if you're catching the replay, you're still here on purpose. And before we go anywhere, let's level and set something important. You don't need to do anything during this live. You don't need to comment. You don't need to agree. Your only job is to stay present long enough to recognize yourself in what I'm about to say. Take a breath. Drop your shoulders. And let your jaw unclench. This isn't a performance. This is a room. If this live feels quieter than what you're used to, good. If it feels slower, good. That means you're not being entertained. You are being addressed. Most content talks at people. This one talks with you, even though you can't talk back. And if part of you is uncomfortable with that, notice it. That discomfort is data. Because most people are used to noise. They're used to the noise filling the gaps for them. The music jump, it cuts to urgency. And quiet requires you to show up internally. So if you're still here, that already tells me something about you. Let's dismantle a lie that's probably been sitting in your body for years. The lie is this: I'll move when I feel confident, and I'll act when it's clear. I'll commit when I am ready. That sounds responsible. It sounds mature. And it's none of those things. Confidence or gender isn't a prerequisite. And clarity is not a starting point. Your readiness is not a signal. They are outputs. And what comes first is movement, under uncertainty. And here's where I want you involved. Think about the last thing you delayed. Not the dramatic thing, the small one. The email that you wrote 12 times, and the idea that you keep thinking about, and the habit you'll start next week. That hesitation isn't logic. It's your nervous system asking for safety guarantees that don't exist. Builders move anyway. Let me tell you something most people won't. When you're actually doing the right work, it often gets quiet. Not peaceful, quiet. Not aesthetic, quiet. Awkward, quiet. No feedback, no applause, no reassurance. Here's the dangerous part. Your brain will try to interpret that silence as rejection. But silence is often compression. Pressure before expansion. Every system, biological, mechanical, economical, it behaves this way. Muscle grows in recovery, and steel is forged under pressure. Trust compounds quietly. So, if you're in a phase where you are working but you're not seen, you're showing up but you're not celebrated, and you're building but you're not validated, you're not broken, you're early. Stay with me. I want to be careful here because this isn't about me, but I'll use myself as a reference point so that you don't feel alone. There are seasons where I'm going and I'm doing more work than ever, and it looks like less from the outside, fewer announcements, less noise, more repetition. That's not regression, that's integration. Most people broadcast while they're unstable. They share while they're still bleeding. They perform while their systems are leaking. That gets attention. It doesn't get longevity. So if you're watching me and thinking, why does this feel grounded instead of hype? That's intentional. And you're allowed to build that way too. Let's go where most creators won't go. A lot of people aren't stuck because they lack discipline, literally. They're stuck because their nervous system is trained on chaos. They only know how to move when there's urgency. They only feel alive when something is on fire. And they mistake adrenaline for alignment. So when the work becomes steady, when it requires repetition instead of intensity, their body panics. Okay, welcome in. Miranda, welcome in. They scroll. They pivot. They self-sabotage. It's not because y'all are lazy. What's up, Sarah? Welcome in. It's because calm feels unfamiliar. And if this is landing, stay with it. Don't flinch. I want you to notice something right now. I see y'all over there. Thank you so much. As you're listening, is part of you waiting for the big point? The moment where this turns into motivation? That waiting is the pattern. The work isn't in the spike. It's in the regulation. If you can stay present without being hyped, you can build anything. That's not poetic. That's neurological. Now let's redefine proof. Proof is not followers, not revenue screenshots, not viral moments. Proof is behavior you repeat when no one is checking. Proof is sending the email again, doing the workout without posting it, showing up live without needing validation. Here's the inclusion piece. Listen carefully. If you're watching this instead of scrolling, if you're staying instead of seeking distraction, that's proof. You are training your attention. That alone puts you ahead of most people. Performers, they need an audience to function, and builders don't. Performers ask, how does this look? Builders ask, does it hold? And performers optimize for reaction, and builders optimize for stability. Here's the uncomfortable part. You cannot be both at the same time. You can perform after you've built, but not during. So if you felt less performative lately, less reactive, more selective, that's not you fading. That's you condensing. Motivation, I've said it before, motivation's unreliable. It spikes and it crashes. It depends on mood. Oh, maybe I'll get up today. Maybe I'll go live. Oh man, maybe today I'll lay down a podcast. Oh man, maybe today. And you never get there because you're built on mood. It all fades under pressure. Literally. And systems, AI systems, doesn't care how you feel. Doesn't care. It cares about the system. Doesn't give a crap about your feelings. Doesn't care. It cares about results. And they move because they're designed to. So instead of asking, how do I stay motivated? Ask, what would make this automatic? How can you get your time back? Take your time back and spend it with your family, and take it back for yourself. Do things that you never did before. If you're watching this, that question is not in your system. Good. Welcome to the wolf den. Because if you're still here, you're already home. And you're already mine. Well, let me speak to y'all directly. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not failing because it's quiet. You're early in a phase most people never stay in long enough to benefit from. And if no one has told you this yet, the fact that you're still here says everything. Every builder that I know eventually adopts one non negotiable rule. Not 10, not a manifesto. One, a rule they don't argue with themselves about. Mine is simple. I move first. My emotions follow. I offer that to you, not as advice, but as a tool. Start with small wins. Something as simple as getting up and making your bed in the morning. It's a small win, still a receipt. Start small, start stacking. Because it eventually, it grows and grows. Here's what happens if you keep going this way. It's not fast, and it's definitely not flashy. It's steady. Your confidence stops feeling emotional. Your decisions get quieter, and people start projecting things onto you. You seem different. You're solid. You don't rush. That's not branding. That's integration. Before y'all leave, do this with me. For yourselves, not for me. Put your feet on the floor. Feel the weight of your body. Exhale slower than you inhaled. And say internally or out loud, I don't need to be loud to be real. I don't need permission to build. I move first. Let that land. Proof isn't loud at the beginning, but it's patient. And patience, it always wins.